Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to my second ever round of the Book Hive, which is my new TBR game. If you've missed me playing the board game in December, I will leave a playlist which includes me playing the game as well as a board of my TBR game. This is the beast in question. It has 91 prompts on it based on my 6 favorite middle grade games, but I don't just pick middle grade books, do not worry. The rules are pretty simple. I use 2 6-sided dice to move around. I have some ladders in a few spaces where I can go up or down for prompts. If I fall on the same dice pattern 3 times within a game, I add a roll. And what we are adding for the upcoming months is punishments. I have asked in my community tab, which I know not all of you see, for punishments, and I have started printing them out when you will see them in February. Some of them are like eat a chili if you don't finish your TBR. Others have suggested having someone else pick my TBR. All of them will go in a jar, and if I don't finish every book on my TBR or have like started them or DNF'd, I have to pick a challenge. If you want to get in on the fun, leave a comment with a challenge down below. So yeah, a little bit of admin before we get in the actual game. There are timestamps if you want to skip this part. First thing, I am not renewing my Afterlight for January, so there will not be an Afterlight vlog this month. Also, in this video, we will be doing the jar, which has my entire TBR, and we will also be doing a random number generator to find out which of the 12 self-destruct books I will be reading in this month's upcoming vlog. Obviously, I'm not going to unwrap it here, but you guys will get to see which wrapped book it is, and you can like guess what it is or just be hyped for the first book in that new series. And I will also be participating 1 week through the TBRathon, which is hosted by Leandra at TBR0. I am choosing to go with the actual board game, and I will be playing it during a week separate from this TBR, and I will have a week-long vlog featuring that. That is the only read-a-thon I am participating in for the month. Other than that, during this TBR, I'm hoping to fit my 2 read-alongs which I'm hosting, which are for Mistborn Era 1 and Percy Jackson, as well as my book club pick. If I can fit all of that in, I will call this month a win. And yeah, without further ado, let's hop on in. So last month we ended on Step Boldly, so we're starting from there, and we're starting with some blue die for the new year. So let's go for roll number 1, which is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my dog is in the way. Published last year, which means 2024, ironically. So, first prompt. So last month we ended on Step Boldly, so we are starting from there. And roll number 1 brought us to published last year, which now that we're going into 2025 means 2024. And honestly, I am using this prompt to my full advantage because I'm picking a book that comes out on December 31st, so it's not even out yet by the time this video goes live. But I am using this for Sealing for Keeps by Rebecca Genchak, which I believe is her first YA novel, and this is being published by Bloom. It's a soccer romance, I believe, and I've seen excerpts online. It looks amazing. I have fallen in love with Rebecca this year, and so obviously I wanted to start 2025 with more of her books. So we're going with the release of the last day of 2024. It works for this prompt. Very excited. Let's move to roll number 2. Let's go for roll number 2. Oh my god. 2 in a row. We got 11 again. The same pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mistwick Bugler. Read a book you've heard about on social media. The second roll brought us to Mistwick Bugler, which is the newspaper in Mistwick School of Music Craft, and the prompt for that is to read a book you've heard about on social media, and for that one I am going with The Whisperwinks by Jordan Lees. This is my book club pick for the Sprinkle of Magic book club, so 1 down I'm really happy to be getting this in the TBR. I will leave an announcement for the picks for January, February, and March up in the cards, but this is a middle grade, first in a fantasy series that follows a young boy who does not believe in magic, who is led to a magical world by a bird and ends up going on a quest within that world to find a young girl's missing brother. The second book in this comes out in March, so obviously I want to get on this, and I know nothing more, but I've heard a lot of people in the middle grade community on Bookstagram specifically talk about this book, and I do believe that the author is known, which is why it's talked about so much. It got like special edition treatment from Waterstone, so it's a pretty well beloved first book in the series that I have yet to read, so obviously on the TBR it goes. Let's move on to spin, not a spin, again, roll number 3. Let's go for number 3. Are you kidding me? Already have to add extra because we got the same pattern 3 times in a row. 11 again. 1, 2, 3, and starting back from the beginning. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Magpie again. Read a comfort book. Roll number 3 makes us go around the board again, and we are following on a prompt we had back in December, and that is Magpie, which is to read a comfort book, and for that I'm going with The Midnight Orchestra, which is book 2 in the Mistwick School of Musicraft by Jessica Corey. This is again a middle grade fantasy series, and the first book I have a review for, but essentially it follows a main character named Amelia who by some weird circumstances end up in this magical school where she's always dreamed of going, because in this world music is magic and the best of the best children go to this school to hone in on their musical powers to end up like helping the world and becoming the best musicians, therefore best magicians. And I absolutely loved the first book in the series, and this is on my priority list for 2025. If you haven't seen that yet, it's one of the books on there because I just loved it so much. The first one that I was like, I need to keep the momentum going. I will be tandem reading this with the audio. The audiobooks are the most fantastic part of this series, and I'm very excited to see where this is going because I loved all our characters so much. Moving on to roll number 4. Let's go for number 4, which, whoo, thank God, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Arcane Arts mystery or thrilling book. So number 4, which would have been, again, I said this with roll 3, but should have been 4 of 8, but will now be 4 of 9, is to read a mystery or thrilling book. I have said this time and time again, I am no longer in my thriller or mystery era. I have a few adult thrillers and mysteries that I still have on my shelves that this prompt is like, supposed to help me gravitate towards. However, I'm taking a cop-out with this one and going with another middle grade, and we are going with Peril on the Atlantic by A.M. Howell. This is the first in the Mysteries at Sea, which is very reminiscent to me of the Adventures on Train series, but it's on a boat and it's by a different author. This one also has really cool edges. I don't know much more about this other than it's set in 1936. It's a middle grade book that's set on a ship and they're gonna solve a mystery, and so it fulfills the mystery prompt, but I don't know anything else. I know there are like 3 books in this series. I only own the first one as I am now a responsible child, but yeah, I don't know how well I'm going to do with historical-ish middle grade. I tend to read like either contemporary, which is set in the present day, or mystery fantasy books, which are set in alternate realities. I don't really read a lot of books set earlier in time, so we'll see how I feel about this one, but I'm really excited to finally get to this one. Let's go again, and we get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spring. Buy and read a new book. Prompt number 5 is spring, and spring is to buy and read a new book because the essence of spring brings new, and new means new books. This actually is the only book that I think I'm going to get in January. As you may know if you watched my goals video, I'm really trying to limit my book buying, and I have only certain ways I can buy books. The book I'm choosing is The Language of Dragons, which is the first in a YA fantasy series set in, again, I think like an alternate London. I think it's earlier in the time, and it's the story of a trade, not a trade, a truce between dragons and humans that is broken. I have heard wonderful things about this book, and again, dragons are such a big buzzword for me now that I was like, I need this book. I have the Waterstones exclusive or pre-ordered. However, with Canada Post being on strike and everything, I don't know if Waterstones will pull through because they have paused shipping to Canada. Like, you can't place new orders. If not, I'm just gonna buy the regular US edition, but the Waterstones is so pretty. Moving on to roll number 6. Let's go again. We get 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Apartment of Dreams and Nightmare. Read a book you were excited about but heard bad reviews of. That's a scary one. Number 6 brought us to Department of Dreams and Nightmares, which is to read a book you have been excited about but have heard not so great things about. And for that, I'm going with a book where it's more the author, more so that people don't always love, but I do. And I'm going with The Life Impossible by Matt Haig. Matt Haig I love because I think his take on mental health is so important, because he is someone who has struggled with depression and like very bad things. He's wanted to take his own life several times, and his books are a way of talking about mental health but also sparking hope and providing lessons. A lot of people complain that Matt Haig's books are too like on the nose with the lessons, and he gets a lot of bad press for it. Like, I've heard a lot of people review his books that are very negative because of that, but I personally don't mind it because I usually agree with what he has to say in his books. So we are putting The Life Impossible, which I have in my last book club because I've been wanting to read it all of 2024, so I'm excited. Moving on to roll number 7. Let's go for number 7. Oh boy, I feel like 11 is out to get us this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which is Silver Circle, Chosen One trope. Roll number 7 brought us to Silver Circle, which is the Chosen One trope. And for that, I feel like the obvious answer is to go with Percy Jackson Book 1, because I am doing a 2025 read-along for the series between Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus. Again, I'll leave all the details somewhere. But we're doing Book 1 in January. I am going to hopefully have a physical copy of Percy Jackson to read, but I also love the audiobook, so I'm going to immersive read this one. And obviously there will be a live show and a spoiler-filled vlog for this one, but obviously Percy Jackson is the ultimate Chosen One trope with prophecies. So very, very excited to have this one on my TBR, and I'm so excited for an entire year of reading Rick Riordan books. Moving on to what should have been our last roll. Let's go with number 8, which should have been our last roll. We get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cordos. Cordo, Greek, meaning a string or gut. You have 10 seconds to pick a book. We fell on Cordos, which is like, you have 10 seconds to pick a book, and honestly I don't even need 10 seconds because I need to read Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is my other read-along book, and it's like, it's been sitting on my desk ready to be read because look at this. This announcement video will be probably up the video after this, but just know that we are starting Mistborn in January. I'm doing Era 1 for now, which starts with Mistborn. This is the first in a fantasy series that has currently 7 books out, but they are in different like eras. I don't know anything about Mistborn. I just know it's by Brandon Sanderson, and that's all I need to know. I love Brandon Sanderson. And I've heard a lot of people say I'm going to love Mistborn, so I'm really excited to be reading this with you guys. Again, content-wise, there will be a spoiler-filled live show and a spoiler-filled vlog of my experience with Mistborn. Let's move on to what should be our last. And let's go for what should hopefully be our final one. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Orpheus Lake, a book with summer vibes. we have made it to the end of Book Hive with Orpheus Lake, which is to read a book with summer vibes. It's one of my favorite prompts. I love summer books, and for that I'm going with another book that releases on December 31st, and that is Better Than Revenge by Casey West. Any Casey West book is summer to me. I just associate the vibes I have with Listen to Your Heart for every single Casey West book, and this one has the same kind of vibes. It also has a podcasting element, a revenge plot. It sounds like something you would read on the beach, but instead I'm going to read it while sitting with a blanket because it's snowing outside. We are not in a beach vibe, but my reading will be, and I'm so excited for that. So this one, again, I don't own physically yet, but it's coming on December 31st, and I'm so excited. So those were all the books on my actual TBR for Book Hive. So we have these 5? Yes. Plus Percy Jackson, Better Than Revenge, and Stealing for Keeps. Oh, and also Language of Dragons. So we have 4 books missing to the stack, which would be 9 books total, which is a lot. I would really have liked to stick with 8 because, again, we have the TBR jar and we have the self-destruct plus all the other books I'm going to want to read in the new year, but it's fine. So moving on to TBR jar. This is my entire TBR, or close to it. They are divided by colors. So let's just blindly go in. And this is just my physical TBR, by the way. Oh my god, I have 2. Let's go with this one. This is literally Midnight Orchestra, which I already have on my TBR. Do I leave it at that? Or should I be a big girl and like, no, we'll add an extra one. But that is so funny. Out of all the books, let's go with another middle grade. Oh, I'm so happy about this. Oh my god. I promise I'm not cheating. This is Clockwork Conspiracy, which is this book right here, and I talked about the fact that the sequel is coming out in February. So how perfect that I would get this on my TBR for January. This is the story of a young boy whose dad is a horologist. He's the lead horologist at the Big Ben, which is the big clock, and his dad goes missing and he needs to go on an adventure and find clues to find his dad. The jar is being kind to me. I'm not so much regretting not just sticking with the Midnight Orchestra, so I'm gonna put these aside for now. And oops, one had fallen. Oh, we almost read another Rebecca Gentrack. There we go. And the last is to pick our self-destruct book. So for that, I think I'm just gonna ask my phone to pick a prompt between 1 and 12, and then I'll get the wrap book to add some mystery. So let's do this. Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 12. And Siri said 2. So let me go grab that. So number 2, also, can we take a moment for the cute wrapping? It is actually a hardcover, which means this could be one of 3 books and I have no idea which one it is. It could either be One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware, Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundle, or Peregrine Quinn in a Cosmic Realm, and I don't know which one this is. It feels more like a middle grade, but I don't know. So on the stack it goes. I'm so excited for my self-destruct. Everything, like, ever since I wrapped them up, I have no idea which is which. Like, I've randomized them and then put random numbers on them, and then we're generating them randomly, but I just want to, like, start with this. So it might be one of the early vlogs you see from me in 2025. So this is the stack plus the 4 books I mentioned earlier. So I am going to be busy in January, but very excited about it nonetheless. So let me know which book you're most excited about me reading And also, leave a dog emoji if you made it this far, just for like festive dogs. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.